everybody. Hope all is well. I am doing okay over here. I really miss you guys a lot, and I hope that you are well and we can all be together soon. So today's focus on our class, we've moved to shoulders and spine for this month. And so we'll work on building some strength in our shoulders, building some flexibility in our spine, getting some movement there. And have a tiny bit of a difference as far as a balance pose. So hopefully you enjoy it. And we'll get started. So come and sit on a blanket or bolster on your mat. And we'll do some breathing. So you can sit cross-legged, hands resting on tops of your thighs, palms down. To contain your energy, palms up to receive energy. And go ahead and close your eyes. And just begin to relax and focus on your breath. Nothing forced, just noticing. If it's comfortable for you, you can keep your eyes closed through this. If you want, you can open your eyes. It's entirely up to you. And just feel the rhythm of your breath, the inhale and the exhale. Just beginning to feel that air as it's coming in through your nostrils. Maybe feeling it in the back of your throat. Noticing with that breath in that your belly feels like it expands a little bit. And your rib cage expands. And then noticing on your exhales how your belly softens. Feel the movement in your rib cage with each exhale. And feel that air as it comes back through your nostrils. And then begin to lengthen your breath out to a count of 5. So inhaling to 5 and exhaling to 5. And when you inhale, feel as though your belly is expanding. Then feel the expansion in your rib cage. And see if you can breathe the air all the way up to your collarbones. And then on your exhale, begin to release that air and feel that air leaving the tops of your lungs at your collarbones. And then your rib cage. And then your belly. And then on your inhale, feel it into your belly, your rib cage, and your collarbone. Filling all the way up. And as you exhale, begin to exhale that air starting at the very top of your lungs at your collarbone, rib cage, and belly. And then inhaling into your belly, your rib cage, and up to your collarbones. And then begin to release that air from your collarbones, your rib cage, and your belly. And one more. Inhaling from your belly, rib cage, filling up that entire area, front, sides, back, all the way up to your collarbones, and then begin to release that air from your collarbones, ribs, and then belly. And then go ahead and open your eyes and interlace your hands behind your back. And then bring your arms away from your back just a bit, opening up your chest. Bring your hands down, open your chest up and look up. Breathe here for a little bit, and then release that. Bring your hands over to your left hips, and then tilt your head over to the left, opening up the right side of your neck. And then just nod your head up and down just a bit, just to get a little bit of a stretch there. Start to feel that opening in your neck, maybe the top of your right shoulder just a little bit, maybe down your right arm. And continue to nod your head up and down. And then find some stillness. Just let your head come to your left shoulder. Let it rest there for a little bit. And then release your hands down to the center of your back and bring your head back up to center. Bring your arms away from your back again, opening up your chest, arching your back just a bit, looking up toward the ceiling. And then coming back. And then bring your hands over to your right side and tip your head over to the right. And then just nod your head up and down very slowly here. And then find some stillness. Bring your ear toward your right shoulder just for a tiny bit on its own. And then bring your hands back to the center of your back. Head is nice and neutral right now. And then straighten your arms out. Bring your hands away from your back, opening up your chest. And then bring your hands down toward the floor, arching your back, looking up toward the ceiling. And release that. And then we'll take our right arm and bring it out. Bring your thumb so it's pointing down toward the ceiling. And then turn it so it's up toward the ceiling. And then down toward the floor. And up toward the ceiling. And down toward the floor. And up toward the ceiling, and then bring that arm all the way across your chest and take your left arm and hug that right arm in toward your chest. Get a little bit of a stretch on the back side of that shoulder. And just breathe into that for a little bit. And then release that. Roll that shoulder out just a little bit. And then left arm goes up, thumb up toward the ceiling, and then down to the floor. Up to the ceiling, down to the floor. Just getting some rotation in that arm, in that shoulder. Ceiling, floor, ceiling, and then hug it in towards you. Take that right arm, bring it in, get that nice stretch in the back of that shoulder. Maybe feeling a little bit of an opening in that shoulder blade as well. And then open your arms all the way out to a T. And cross your right arm under your left. Bend your arms at the elbows, and you can place your hands on your shoulders, or you can wrap your arms around each other and bring your palms together. And if you're doing that into eagle arms, then just bring your elbows up toward bring your elbows so that they're in line with your shoulders. And you can do that when you're here as well. You can bring your elbows up. So you should feel a little bit more of an opening in the backs of your shoulders when you do that. It's a nice stretch. So this is eagle arms, and I'll stay at an angle so you can see me. And then we'll unwrap our arms, bring our arms out, and then left arm under right. And again, you can bring your hands right onto your shoulders, and then you can lift your elbows up so that they're in line with your shoulders. You should feel a bit of a stretch there. Or you can wrap your arms around each other, so you come to eagle arms. Again, a nice big stretch in the backs of your shoulders. So just breathe into that for a while. And then unwrap your arms, roll your shoulders out, back, and then forward. Good. All right, so we'll come back to that seated position, and I'm going to move that bolster over to the side for now. Come off of that. And we're going to do some seated cat-cow. So we're typically in tabletop when we do this, so this is going to be a little bit different. So what I want you to do is think about pressing your belly in towards your lower spine. That's going to help to begin to round that lumbar spine. And then we'll look down, rounding our thoracic spine and our cervical spine. So that would be your cat. And then for cow, begin to bring your head up. Bring your chest forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, looking up. And then for cat, begin to press your belly into your spine, rounding your lower back. Beginning to bend over, looking down toward the floor for cat. And then inhale, head comes up, shoulder blades come together, arching your back for cow. And then exhale for cat, rounding your back, pressing your belly in towards your spine, rounding over. And inhale for cow, heads up, looking up towards the ceiling, shoulder blades together, shoulders back, chest forward. And then come back to neutral. So now we'll come to a twist. And I'm going to take my socks off and put those over to the side. Go ahead and straighten your legs out in front of you. Bring your toes back towards you. And then bend your right knee in towards your chest. Wrap your right foot over your left leg. Take an inhale and sit up nice and straight. And then on an exhale, twist toward that leg. Wrap your left arm around that leg. Right hand comes right behind you. So you'll begin to get a nice rotation in your spine. And then to add that rotation into your cervical spine, inhale again to lengthen up, and then exhale looking over your right shoulder. Make sure that right hand is right behind your back so that you're sitting up nice and tall. On an inhale, come all the way back to center. Uncross your foot, drop that knee down toward the floor. And then take your hands and place them on either side of your body, and then begin to wiggle your hips out just a little bit. And all I want you to do at this point is to just hinge at the hips. So we're not rounding our back, we're actually keeping it in a nice neutral position. So we're being mindful of our back right now, and we're just bending right at the hip flexors, just coming over that leg. Those left toes are coming in toward you. You should feel a little bit of a stretch in that leg. Keep that neck nice and neutral. And on an inhale, come all the way back up. Bring that right leg forward, shake those legs out a little bit. Windshield wiper them back and forth, and then bend that left knee. Cross that left foot over your right leg. Bring those right toes in towards you. Taking inhale, sit up nice and straight, and then an exhale, turn toward that left leg. Hug it with your right arm and place your left hand right behind your back. So we're beginning to come into spinal twist in the opposite direction. And then to get that spinal twist into your cervical spine, sit up nice and straight, and then look over your left shoulder. On an inhale, come all the way back to center. Uncross that foot. Drop your left knee down toward the floor. Wiggle out your hips just a little bit. As you lean forward, begin to get ready for that forward fold over your right leg. Remember, keep your back nice and neutral. We're not looking to stretch out your back. Hands on either side of you. And then hinging at your hips, just lean forward, keep your neck nice and neutral. Bring those right toes in toward you. And on an inhale, come all the way back up to center. Straighten that left leg, wiggle both legs out a little bit, windshield wiper them back and forth. Good, and then we're gonna come onto our backs, knees are bent. I'm going to take off my sweatshirt. I think you'll be able to see a little bit more definition in what we're doing. If I take that off. So I'll put that over to the side. And then come and lay onto my back. And then when we're talking about our spine, we're talking about our abdomen as well. So we want to make sure that we're actually building some muscle there to support our spine so it's nice and strong. So take your hands, interlace your fingers and place those behind your back. And then lift your hips up just a bit and roll your lower back down onto the floor. And then lift your feet up off the mat, hug them in toward your chest. And then bring your thighs so that they're 90 degrees away from your body. On an exhale, bring your legs back in toward your body. And then release them 90 degrees. Inhale, bringing them toward you. Exhale away. Inhale. Exhale. And we'll do this one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Now keep your legs bent at 90-degree angle. And then raise your right leg up. And on an exhale, we're going to lower that left leg just so it hovers just above the mat, just a little bit. And then we'll bring that leg back in. And then we'll raise our left leg up. And exhale, lower that. So it's just hovering above the mat just a tiny bit. And then we'll bring that back in. And what I want you to do, keep your core engaged and keep your back neutral as how it is when both knees are bent. So inhale, straighten, exhale, lower. And bring that leg back, inhale, left leg, lower. Inhale, right leg, exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg, exhale, lower. Inhale, right, exhale, lower. Inhale, left, exhale, lower. Inhale, right, exhale, lower. Inhale, left, exhale, lower. And one more time, inhale, right, exhale, lower. Inhale, left, exhale, lower. Then we'll bend both knees, bring them in toward our chest one more time, and then place our feet onto the mat. Then we'll bring our arms down by our sides. We're going to begin to do a dynamic bridge. So that's bringing our sacrum, lower spine, lumbar spine, thoracic, and then we're going to come all the way up onto our shoulders, squeeze our shoulder blades together into bridge. Bringing our arms up and overhead at the same time to get that nice movement in our shoulders. So on an inhale, you're going to press into your feet, bringing that sacrum up, lower back, thoracic, all the way up toward my shoulders, and arms come back. And then on an exhale, my arms begin to come down. I'm lowering my thoracic down onto the mat right now. And then I'm coming down toward my lumbar, all the way to my sacrum. My arms come down. Inhale, sacrum, lumbar, thoracic, all the way up to my shoulders. Exhale, arms start coming down, thoracic, lumbar, sacrum. Inhale. Really pay attention to that movement in your spine, and then exhale. And inhale. Bring those hip flexors up toward the ceiling, and exhale. And then one more time, inhale. And then exhale. Go ahead and hug your knees in towards your chest. Give them a nice big hug. And then we'll roll over to one side and press ourselves up into tabletop. So at this point, what I'd like you to do is grab your blocks. We're going to place those on the mat. We're not going to use them just yet, but we're going to use them pretty soon. So lower setting onto the mat. And then we can place our hands just behind those blocks. Hands are on the mat. Knees are directly underneath our hips, and we have a nice neutral spine. So we're going to come back to that cat-cow, same as what we did seated. And what you'll notice is you'll have a lot more motion when you're actually in tabletop. We're going to do this a little bit different than how we typically do it. We're going to start with cat, and then cow. We're still going to go in, starting with cat first. But we're going to start with cat at our lower back, and I want you to focus on really pressing your belly into your lower spine. With cow, we're going to start from our head. So our movement for cat is we're going to tuck that tailbone down, press our belly into our lower spine, and then really press into your hands to separate those shoulder blades so thoracic comes up toward the ceiling, and then tuck your head down looking toward your thighs. On an inhale for cow, you're going to begin to bring your head up, getting that movement in your cervical spine. You're going to move those shoulder blades together so your thoracic starts to come down toward the floor. You're going to let your belly relax and then bring that tailbone up. And then exhale for cat, starting at the tailbone, lumbar, thoracic, cervical dips down. Inhaling for cow, heads up, chest comes down toward the floor, belly comes down toward the floor, chest comes through your arms, and tailbone's up. And then exhale, tailbone's down, back rounds, belly presses into your spine, head comes down. Inhaling for cow, heads up, chest comes down and through your arms, belly comes down, tailbone's up. One more time for cat. And then for cow. And then we'll come back to a nice neutral position. So we're going to just focus on our shoulder movement right now, shoulder blade movement in tabletop. So almost the same kind of movement that we just did with cat-cow, but we're just going to keep our back neutral and we're just going to focus on our shoulders and shoulder blades. So for this, I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together and my chest comes down. And then I'm going to press into my hands, bring my shoulder blades away from each other. And then I'm going to bring my shoulder blades together, squeeze, and then chest comes down. And then on an exhale, press into your hands, shoulder blades come apart. Inhale, shoulder blades together. And exhale, shoulder blades apart. And then we'll come back to a neutral position. We can keep our hands on the blocks right now and step our right foot forward. So we're just going to come to a low lunge right now. And to get maybe a little bit of a stretch in our calf, go ahead and tuck the toes on your left foot. Press into the ball of the left foot, straighten out that left leg, and then press back into that heel. So we'll just get a little bit of the stretch here. I'm going to go ahead and drop that left knee back down. We're going to bring our blocks up to the high setting. And then we're going to walk our right foot forward just a little bit for a half split. Again, we're going to hinge at our hips, but I want you to bring that right hip back just a bit, left hip forward so that your hips are nice and level to the front of your mat. And then hinge from your hips, just come over those blocks. Get a little bit of a stretch into that leg. And then come back up, and then we'll come back to low lunge, and then we'll bring our right foot back, our right knee down. Then step your left foot forward. And again, we're going to get that little bit of a stretch in the right calf. So tuck the toes on the right foot, press into the ball of that right foot, straighten out that right leg, and press back into that right heel. And then drop that knee down to the floor, untuck those toes, begin to bring those blocks up to the high setting, straighten the left leg out again, left hip comes back just a bit, right hip comes forward. You've got your hands on the high setting of the block, and you're just going to bend at your hips again, just coming over that left leg just to get a little bit of a stretch. Bring those left toes back toward you. You'll get a pretty good sizable stretch here in that leg. If it's too much, go ahead and just bring your body right up. begin to walk those blocks forward, bend that left foot, and bring that knee back. We're just going to put those blocks over to the side just for now. Place our hands down onto the mat, tuck our toes, and press up to a very short downward dog. Tailbone is up toward the ceiling. Your shoulder blades are together and they're actually coming down toward your back. Your ears are between your arms. If you want, you can pedal out your feet here. Get a little bit more of a stretch in those legs. And then walk your hands forward just a bit until you come to plank. Now, it's entirely up to you. You can stay in this high plank or you can drop down to your knees. I'll let you decide. And I want you to just begin to, if you're on your toes, just come back and forth so you can feel that movement in your arms and of your shoulders coming back and forth. If you're on your knees, just rock back and forth, getting that movement over your shoulders. Okay? And then depending on where you're at, either at half plank or full plank, you're going to shift forward all the way down, keep your elbows pressed in, and then very slowly lower down. You're going to keep your hands right underneath your shoulders here. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Your pelvis is pressed into the mat. On an inhale, you're going to raise your head up as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. So we're just going to come to a little baby cobra right now. And actually, the muscles that you're using are in your shoulders and shoulder blades. That's what's actually holding you up. So you can actually let go of your hands just a bit, just to prove that you're using those muscles. And then hands come down. Head comes back down toward the mat. And then on your next inhale, I want you to squeeze those shoulder blades together. Elbows are toward your body, so really squeezing those arms in toward your body. Press into your hands. Begin to get that movement into your thoracic spine. Bring your chest forward through your arms for a little bit of a higher cobra. And then lower down. And then we're going to press back into tabletop. And then tuck our toes. And come to downward dog. And pedal those feet out. And then to get a little bit more strength into our shoulders, we're going to walk our hands back to our feet. So take an inhale for a halfway lift, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Back is neutral to the mat. Exhale for a forward fold. And then inhale, arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, arms come back down by your sides. Good. And then bring your arms out to a T. Thumbs up toward the ceiling. Thumbs down toward the floor. Up toward the ceiling. We're just getting that same movement into our shoulders. Down toward the floor. Up toward the ceiling. And then right arm comes under our left. Again, you can place your hands on your shoulders or wrap your arms around each other. Once we come here, I want you to sit down. So we're coming into chair with eagle arms, okay? And we're just going to build some strength in our legs at this point. We're getting that nice stretch in our shoulders. Point your tailbone down toward the floor just a little bit to get that nice neutral back. And breathe. And then on an inhale, we'll bring our arms back out to a T. We'll straighten our legs up just a bit. And then thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, and then cross your arms, left arm under your right, bend at the elbow, placing your hands on your shoulders or wrapping your hands around each other. Bring your elbows so that they're in line with your shoulders, and then sit back. Breathe. And then straighten up. Release your arms. Shake your arms out. Roll your shoulders back. And roll them forward. And then take an inhale, raising your arms up and overhead. And an exhale, come down to a forward fold. And then an inhale for halfway lift. And then an exhale, plant your hands forward, step your feet back, coming to plank. Again, you're going to shift forward, getting that movement in your shoulders. Keeping your arms next to your body, slowly lower down. Untuck your toes. And you're going to press yourself back up to cobra. Shoulder blades come together, thoracic comes up. Bringing your chest through your arms. Exhale down. And then come to tabletop. And then tuck your toes. Come to downward dog. Walk your hands to your feet. Again, getting some strength into your shoulders, into your arms. Come to a halfway lift. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Exhale, fold over. And then inhale, bend your knees, come up to chair. Arms are up here, overhead. Good. Then we're gonna step our left foot back. Good. Should have said walk forward actually. So we're here at warrior one, planting your left foot down at an angle, your right knee is bent, your arms are up. So we're going to continue to build some muscle into our shoulders just a bit here. We're going to come to humble warrior, and I actually just want you to keep your arms forward here. So you're reaching all the way forward. And then bring your arms, swing them back like you're doing a nice big swim, breaststroke, I guess that would be. I don't know what it is. But arms are by your sides coming out all the way back behind you. Fingertips squeezing all the way back, shoulder blades come together. And then arms all the way in front of you again. And then come back up to warrior one. We'll come to peaceful warrior with your left hand down onto your left thigh. Flip your right palm up. And starting from your lumbar spine, a little bit of a back bend, thoracic. And then looking up toward the ceiling, cervical. On an inhale, come back up. Bring that left arm back up so you're at warrior one. Arms come down by your sides. And then bring them to namaste hands. And step that left foot forward to meet your right. Come down to chair. And then find a focal point. And begin to place all of your weight into your right leg. Lift your left foot up off the mat. And bring your left knee right behind your right leg. Pressing your knee into your right calf. And just balance here. And then place your left foot down. Arms come back up. Straighten those legs. And then exhale for a forward fold. And then step your feet back. plank. Shift forward, lower down, untuck your toes, pressing yourself up to cobra. Exhaling, lowering down. Tuck your toes, press into tabletop, and then inhale, press back to downward dog. And then to get that strength into our shoulders, walk your hands back, coming to a halfway lift, and then an exhale for a forward fold. Inhale, bring your arms up straight, and we're just going to walk forward to our mat, come to that chair position, sitting back, and then step your right foot back, planting that down at an angle. We're coming back to Warrior One. Nice deep breath in here, full breath out. And then on an exhale, we're coming to Humble Warrior. Just hinge at the hips, fingertips stretch forward, and then sweep your arms by your sides. Bring your fingertips all the way back behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, opening up your chest. And then begin to sweep your arms back in front. Inhaling, coming back up to Warrior One. Peaceful Warrior, right hand comes down onto your right thigh, flip that left palm, and then bend back, starting at your lumbar spine, thoracic, and then cervical, looking up toward the ceiling. Inhaling, coming back up, come back to Warrior One, and then step that right foot forward and sit back to chair. Bring your hands to Namaste hands. Find a focal point. Shift all of your weight to your left foot. Lift your right foot up and press your right knee into your left calf. Big balance pose here. And then step your right foot down. Take an inhale, arms up, legs are straight. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place your hands onto the mat. Step all the way back to plank. Bring your knees down. Shift your body forward and lower all the way down. Place your forearms onto the mat. Fingertips pointing toward the top of your mat. And then press into your forearms, bringing your body up. Shoulder blades come together, chest comes forward, gaze is down onto the mat, coming to Sphinx. Breathe. And exhale, lower down. And then arms are down by your sides, foreheads pressed into the mat. We're going to come to locust. On an inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Shoulders come up off the mat. Head and neck comes up. So we're just moving a little bit of our cervical spine and thoracic just a bit. And then lower down, placing your left cheek onto the mat. And then press your forehead into the mat. Arms are down by your sides, palms facing toward you. On an inhale, squeeze those shoulder blades together, head and neck comes up, and then bring your arms up.
bringing your chest up off the mat just a tiny bit more, getting a little bit more movement into that thoracic spine. And exhale, lower down, bringing your right cheek to the mat. And then taking an inhale, placing your forehead back onto the mat. Arms are back down by your sides. On an inhale, shoulder blades are squeezed together, head and neck comes up, arms come up, and then squeeze your legs together, bring your feet up, fingertips coming back towards your heels. And exhale, lower down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, press up to tabletop, and then bring your big toes together. Separate your knees so they're a little bit more than hip width distance. Come back towards your heels. And grab your blocks. Place them down onto your mat. Place your arms down onto those blocks. Hands above your head and let your chest just come forward, head down toward the mat. If you have a hard time bringing your head to the mat here, then go ahead and remove the blocks. We're just trying to get a nice big opening in the chest and in the fronts of the shoulders here. Begin to press yourself back up. Remove those blocks, set them over to the side. Cross your feet. Come back to a seated position on your mat. And then bring your feet forward, bend your knees, come onto your back. And we're going to come straight to happy baby. So knees come in toward your armpits, your legs are separated. You're going to open your legs up so they're at a 90-degree angle. So you can rest your hands on the backs of your thighs, or you can bring your arms up, wrap your hands on the outside of your feet, or take your peace fingers, wrap those around your big toes, hugging your knees in toward your body, your legs in toward your body. I like to hold on to the outside of my feet. And this is actually a nice little part of Happy Baby to help with your spine. So you'll press your hands into your feet and you'll press your feet into your hands. And what that does is it helps to elongate your lower back, bringing your tailbone down toward the mat so you're not getting any overstretch in your lower back. So it's actually much better for your back to do that. It keeps your back more neutral. A lot of times we'll do Happy Baby and then we've got this big rounded lower back, which is really not the whole purpose of that pose. So press your hands into your feet, feet into your hands. Nice big breath in. And full breath out. Using your hands, bring your legs back together again. Bend your knees. Grab a block. Press into your feet, raising your sacrum up the mat, lower back, thoracic. Take your arms, roll them underneath your back, bring your shoulder blades together, coming up toward your shoulders. So you've got a nice big arch in your back here. For bridge. Hip flexors come up toward the ceiling. Breathe. On an exhale, begin to release your shoulder blades, your arms come down. thoracic begins to come down, begin to come down to your lumbar spine. Then grab that block, press into your feet, raise your hips up off the mat and set that block right underneath your sacrum. Should feel a nice release in that lower back. Arms are down by your sides, palms facing up. Bring your knees in towards your chest, and then send your legs up toward the ceiling. On your next exhale, bend your knees in towards your chest. Bring your feet back down onto the mat. Press into your feet. Raise your hips up off the block. Remove the block, set it over to the side, and then slowly lower your back down onto the mat. Bring your arms out to a T. Slide your hips to the left side of the mat. Lift your feet up, and on an exhale, drop your legs to the right. To get a little bit more of a twist into your cervical spine, look over your left shoulder. If you're having a hard time bringing your legs down toward the floor, you can always place a block right underneath them. That helps quite a bit. You can also place your right hand on top of your legs. On an inhale, raise your feet back up towards center. Press your feet into the mat. Slide your hips over to the right side of your mat. And then on an inhale, raise your feet up and drop them over to the left. Gaze is over your right shoulder. Again, if your knees don't come all the way down to the floor, place a block underneath them. Or you can place a hand on top of those knees to assist them a bit. Gaze is over your right shoulder. Nice deep breath in. Full breath out. On your next inhale, bring your legs back up to center. Press into your feet to straighten out your back. Place your left ankle on top of your right knee and hug your legs in, getting a nice stretch in that left hip. On your next exhale, place your right foot back onto the mat, uncross your ankle, right ankle on top of your left knee, hug your legs in. On your next exhale, bring your left foot down onto the mat, uncross your right foot. Bring your feet mat width distance apart, knock your knees in together, arms down by your sides, palms facing up. If that feels good, that can be your final pose, or you can straighten your legs out or come to whatever pose feels good for you. Take a nice deep breath in and a full breath out. Take a nice full deep breath in, full breath out. Stretch your legs out straight onto the mat. Inhale, raise your arms up and overhead behind you. Stretching out your body. And then exhale, bending your knees in towards your chest, giving them a nice big hug. You can rock from side to side if that feels good. And make circles with your knees in one direction and then in another direction. And then roll over to your right side, making a pillow for your head with your right arm. And using your hands, press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Placing your hands on your thighs, closing your eyes. Nice deep breath in, full breath out. Full breath in, raising your arms up and overhead, palms meeting. Full breath out, bring your thumbs down to your heart center. Nice deep breath in, filling out those lungs all the way to the top. And a full exhale, bringing your thumbs down to your heart center. One more deep breath in, arms up and overhead. And a full breath out, bring your thumbs down to your third eye center and bowing your head. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you take care of yourself with joy. May you be safe. It is with gratitude to have you join me today in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are well. I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.